Welcome to the second video of a series of 3 videos on recursive functions in Python. In this video, we shall see how to generate a Fibonacci series based on the input from the user using recursive function in Python. At the outset, let's see what a Fibonacci sequence of numbers is. Fibonacci sequence is a sequence of numbers in which each number is the sum of the previous two numbers, and the series starts with 0 and 1. The first term of the series is 0, the second term of the series is 1, and from the third term onwards, each term is the sum of the previous two terms. The sequence begins like this. 0 is the first term, 1 is the second term, and the third one is the sum of the second term and the first term, that is 1 plus 0, 1. The fourth term is the sum of the third one and the second one, so it's 1 plus 1, 2. The fifth term is the sum of the fourth term, that is 2, and the third term, that is 1, that is 2 plus 1 equals 3, and so on. To generate a Fibonacci sequence of numbers, we can use a recursive function in Python. A recursive function is a function that calls itself many times during its execution. Let's say we create a recursive function in Python called fib, which accepts an argument n input by the user. N denotes the number of terms of the Fibonacci series that are to be generated. We can generate the Fibonacci sequence using the following expression. Fib n equals fib n minus 1 plus fib n minus 2. Let's take an example. Supposing the user inputs a number 5. So the user wants the first 5 terms of the Fibonacci series to be generated. We use this expression within the recursive function to generate the series. When the function calls itself once, the value of n is 1 and the first term, that is 0, is printed. When n becomes 2, the second time the function is called, the second term is printed, which is 1. Since the user input is 5, there will be 5 iterations. During the third iteration, this formula is applied. So fib 3, when n equals 3, it is the sum of fib 2 and fib 1. We know that fib 2 is 1 and fib 1 is 0. So the answer is 1 plus 0, that is equal to 1. Similarly for fib 4 and fib 5. And once the program is executed, the series 0, 1, 1, 2, 3 will be printed. So let's head straight to the Python program and look at the code and see how it works. On your screens is the Ideally Python editor version 3.9.1. In this program, the first thing that we have to do is to define a function. The keyword for defining a function is def, and the name of the function is fib, and n represents the argument which is passed on to the function. If n less than or equal to 1, return n, which means if the value of n is 0 or 1, then n will be returned. Otherwise, return fib n minus 1 plus fib n minus 2. Here, the fib function, which is defined here, is called within itself. So such a function which calls itself during execution is called a recursive function. So in this case, if the argument here is n, the function should return the value of fib n minus 1 plus fib n minus 2. The next statement will be to accept an input from the user, convert it into an integer and save it in a variable. So let's examine this statement. Input, please input a number greater than 0, displays this message on the screen and waits for the input from the user. Once the user inputs the value, it will be converted into an integer and then stored in the variable n. The next step will be the loop to call the function and print the Fibonacci sequence. So for I in range n, for each number in range n is the input by the user. Supposing the user inputs 5, for each number starting with 1 till 5, print fib I. For each number in this range, print fib of this value. So the fib function, which is defined here, will be called, and the argument that will be passed on to the fib function will be I for each element in the loop. The end equals blank will leave a space after the result that is printed, and print the next result in the same horizontal line. Let's see how this program works. So let's click on Run module. Now it says, please enter a number greater than 0. Let's type 3 and press enter. Now we are getting the first 3 terms of the Fibonacci series. The first 2 terms are 0 and 1, and the third term is 1, which is the sum of 0 plus 1. Let's try one more number. Let's click on Run module. Let me try 6 this time. So it should print the first 6 terms of the Fibonacci sequence. What we get is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. Let's check whether it's correct. The first term is 0, second term is 1. The third term is 1, which is the sum of 0 and 1. The fourth term is 2, which is the sum of 1 and 1. The fifth term is 3, which is the sum of 1 and 2. And the sixth term is 5, which is the sum of 3 and 2. So we can see that the program works correctly. Hope you found this video useful. If you like this video, please click on the like button. If you love the videos in our channel, please subscribe to our channel. We look forward to your comments and suggestions. In case you need a solution to any problem in Python or Excel or Power BI, please indicate it in the comment section of the video. Looking forward to seeing you again with another video on sum of a number series using recursive function in Python. Thank you very much and have a great day.